Hellcat.
Hi guys, so welcome back sa ating YouTube channel. So in this video, pag-uusapan natin yung cyclic group. So let's have definition. Definition: if G is a group and A is an element of G, then the cyclic subgroup generated by A is the set. Yan yung definition. So mali ako ng pagkakalagay. So i-revise ko lang to ha. So mali ako ng pagkaka-type. Hindi ko napansin. Paki-revise na lang din. This is the set A. So, cyclic subgroup generated by A. Again, a cyclic subgroup generated by A yung basa dyan. It's the set containing A raised to N such that N is an element of integers. Okay, so again, the cyclic subgroup generated by A is the set. Ayan part. So, A raised to N per N element of Z. So, intindihin nyo mabuti. Ang gagawin mo lang, yung element i-raise mo lang sa N. So, kung saan yung N is element ng integers. Okay, so, ito yung pinaka best na dapat nyong gawin pag nag-generate tayo ng cyclic subgroup sa isang group. So, ang gawin nyo, pinaka best way na gawin natin is erase na lang natin siya starting kay 0. So, we all know na may property, no? Any element erase mo sa 0, basta element siya ng group G, ang sagot is yung identity element. So, una, gawin mo, element raised sa 0, identity element. Element raised to 1 is the element itself. Element raised sa 2, check mo na yon. Element raised sa 3, element raised to 4, element raised to 5, tuloy-tuloy ka lang. Ngayon, kailan ka titigil? Sir, infinite yung integers eh. Titigil ka pag napansin mong bumalik na. Paano bumalik na? For example, at some point, dumating ka na A raised to 7, anong nangyari? A raised to 7 is identity element ulit. Tapos A raised to 8, A ulit. A raised to 9, yung sagot sa A squared. A raised to 10, yung sagot naman sa A cube. Okay, yun yung papansinin nyo dito. Again, ayun yung gagawin nito. Titigil ka kung naabot mo na yun. Ngayon, kung ma-reach mo na yun, therefore, ang ilalagay mo lang or ililista mo lang na element is yung A raised to 0 up to the certain point na bago siya magbalik or umulit, mag-repeat. Okay, so may mga theorem kasi tayo mababanggit dyan later on. So again, yan yung cyclic subgroup generated by an element A. So again, arbitrary yung element na yan, hindi lang lagi element A. Okay, so again, applicable to sa lahat ng group. Now, if in G there exists an element A, so again kung sa group G daw may mag-exist na element A such that G is equal to the cyclic subgroup generated by A. So ano ibig sabihin? Anong nangyari nung nag-generate ka nung A raised to 0, A raised to 1 hanggang A raised to N. Tapos anong nangyari? Lahat ng element ng G nakuha din nung A na yan. Kumbaga, na-generate niya lahat ng element ng G. Then, we say that G is a cyclic group. So, again, kailan natin masabing cyclic group? Pag may nag-e-exist na generator. So, again, A is a generator of G. So, ano ulit ibig sabihin niya dito? Yung cyclic subgroup generated by A, na-raise ko ng raise. Ngayon, dumating sa point na nakuha mo lahat ng element ng G. Kumbaga, umulit ka na. Kumbaga, umulit ka sa dati. Pero, ang nilista mo is A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. Hanggang sa nakuha mo, element ng G to lahat. Therefore, ano masabi mo? Ngayon, kung na-generate niya lahat ng element ng G, therefore, siya rin mismo yun. Okay, ano ibig sabihin nun? Therefore, siya ay generator. So, ibig sabihin ng generator, ibig sabihin lang, for example, kung ako generator, kaya kong erase kahit anong element mo, kaya kong tawagin. So, for example, sabi ko, A raised to 2, kaya kong tawagin si X gamit si A raised to 2. Kaya kong tawagin si C gamit si A raised to 3. Yun yung ibig sabihin dyan. So, mamaya bibigay din ako example para maintindihan. So, ganun, yun yung pagiging generator. Now, we may also say that G is a group generated by A. Ay, so, ayun nga rin. So, if no such element exists in G, then G is said to be non-cyclic group. Okay, kung wala naman nag-exist na element na ganun, therefore, yung G is non-cyclic group. Pero, yung mga cyclic subgroup generated by A, cyclic yan. Tandaan na, cyclic yan. Okay, yung mga cyclic subgroup generated by A, so mga subgroup yan ni G. So, sir, paano to? Paano pag nag-equal? Subgroup pa rin naman ni G ang sarili na, tama. So, again, nagiging generator ka lang pag na-raise mo lahat ng element or nakuha mo ulit sa akin. So, again, yun yung pagiging cyclic. So, pag may generator, tandaan na, pag may generator ka, cyclic ka. So, yung cyclic subgroup generated by A, yan lang yung mga tinatawag mong element. So, now, remark, if G is cyclic and A is a generator of G, then every element of G can be expressed as integral power of A. So, yan nga yung sinasabi ko. So, kung cyclic si G tapos may generator si A, so lahat ng element ni G kayang tawagin lang ni A basta erase mo lang si A sa N, sa integral power. So, kunyari A raised to 1, A raised to 2, A raised to 3, A raised to 4. So, mga ganong part. Kaya nang tawagin kahit sino dun sa element ni G. So, makakita kayo na example later on yan. So, now, if G is equal to the cyclic subgroup generated by A, then we say that the set containing A raised to n for n element of G if the operation in G is written multiplicative. So, kung multiplicative yung operation, kunyari A asterisk, gawin mo na A raised to 3, A raised to 3, so meaning A asterisk, A raised to 3, A asterisk, A asterisk, A. Okay, now, NA is equal to NZ, NA such that N is equal to element of Z if the operation is expressed additively. So, ito naman usually sa mga addition. So, sa integers, ito yung gagamitin natin. Pero again, later on, gagawin natin is A raised to something, i-raise lang natin siya hanggang sa tumigil tayo. So, now, for example, or para sa example at mas maintindihan nyo yung ating pinag-uusapan for today, or for this video, so let's have an example. So, ang gagawin ko is i-generate ko lahat ng element niyang mga yan. So, we all know that the identity element nito, so, again, consider the group G. So, the set containing 1, negative 1, I, and negative I, comma, asterisk. So, asterisk is multiplication. So, we all know that the identity element dito is 1, kasi ito ay multiplication. Okay, now, unahin natin yung cyclic subgroup generated by 1. Okay, so obviously, pag yung cyclic subgroup generated by A, so dagdag nyo na, no? Pag kinukuha mo yung cyclic subgroup generated by A, this is just equals to the set containing the identity element. So, since alam natin siya identity element, ang laman lang nito is just 1. Ayun lang. Okay, now, punta tayo kay negative 1. So, gusto natin malaman ano yung laman ni negative 1. So, check natin, no? So, una yung gagawin, negative 1 raised sa 0, this is identity element. Sinabi na ni Sir yun. Negative 1 raised sa 1, this is just negative 1. Okay, next. Negative 1 raised sa 2, so this is negative 1 times negative 1, that is positive 1. Next, ulitin ko lang ha. Negative 1 raised sa 3, so that is negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1, that is negative 1. So ngayon, kung napansin mo, umulit na. Sir, kunyari sir, sabi mo nga sa di pa pag umulit, yung negative 1 raised to 0 is identity element. Negative 1 raised to 1 is negative 1. Pagdating yung negative 1 raised to 2 is 1. Pagdating yung negative 1 raised to 3 is negative 1. So kung napapansin mo, umulit na lang. Kung gawin kong negative 1 raised to 4, that is 1. Negative 1 raised to 5, that is negative 1. So paulit-ulit lang siyang babalik. Okay, so meaning, ang gagawin mo lang is, kunin mo na lang yung mga element na yun kung saan tumigil. So, ang gagawin ko lang, kukunin ko lang yung element na 1 and negative 1. So, meaning, the cyclic subgroup generated by negative 1 is 1, negative 1. Ngayon, makukonsider ko ba siyang generator? No. Makukonsider ko ba siyang generator? No. Bakit? Hindi ko pa nakukuha yung buong element. Okay, ito pa lang yung mga cyclic subgroup generated by negative 1 and 1. Okay, next is si I. Okay, so ano yung mga element ni I? So, una is I raised to 0. So, I raised to 0 is obviously 1. Lagi nyo tatandaan, identity element. I raised to 1 is I. Okay, so baka tumigil dyan. I raised to 2 is negative 1. Kasi I times I is negative 1. Kasi I is square root of negative 1. Square root of negative 1 times square root of negative 1 is negative 1. So, naulit na ba? Wala pa pong naulit. Next is I raised to 3. So, that is, I raised to 3 is, ang mangyari, I squared is negative 1, no? I squared times I is negative I. So, napansin mo na generate niya lahat ng element. Pero, i-check mo natin, tuloy pa natin, para masabi nung tama yung sinasabi ni Sir. Ngayon, check natin yung I raised to 4. I raised to 4 is I squared times I squared. Ano yung I squared times I squared? Negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. At kung napansin mo, 1 I, negative 1, negative I, 1. Bumalik na. Yung susunod niyan, yung I raised to 5, kahit anong gawin mong check, sure ako I yun. Yung I raised to 6, that is negative 1. Yung I raised to 7, so I guess, no, ito yung I raised to 4, no? I raised to 4, I raised to 5, I raised to 6, I raised to 7. Yung I raised to 7 is negative I. Sure ako doon. Tapos ulit-ulit yun. I raised to 8 is 1. So, kung ganun yung mangyari, wag mo na ituloy. So, again, sabi ko lang naman, no, kung ito pinaka-tip ko na lang, sa kaka-raise mo, pag bumalik na sa identity element, tigil mo na. So, check mo na lang yung mga element na generate niya. Ano yung mga element na generate niya? Ang mga element na na-generate niya is the set containing 1, negative 1, I, and negative I. So, kung napapansin mo, yung the cyclic subgroup generated by I is just equal sa mismong element of G. So, makukonsider natin na si I. So, si I. So, I is a generator. Generator of G. So, sure ako, generator siya. Okay, so yun yung sinasabi ko. So ito, hindi generator si negative 1 kasi hindi niya na-generate lahat ng element ni G. So check nga natin try natin ngayon nakaguhit dito para hindi nakakalito. So check natin si negative I. So una is negative I raised to 0, that is 1. Negative I raised to 1 is negative I. Okay, next is negative I raised to 2 is negative I times negative I, so that is positive. So negative I times negative I, so that is positive I squared. No, positive I squared. So I squared is equal to negative 1. Next, negative I raised to 3. So this is just negative 1 times negative I, that is positive I. So check mo yung negative I raised to 4. So negative I raised to 4 is just, ano ba yung negative I squared? Yung negative I squared is negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Okay, so once mo bumalik na sa identity element. So meaning, ano man sabi nyo? Sir, ang laman po nitong set na to o nung cyclic subgroup generated by negative I is the set containing 1, negative 1, I, and negative I. So therefore, negative I is also a generator. A generator of G. So meaning, itong group na to, pwede kong pangalanan ng ganito. This is the cyclic subgroup generated by I or cyclic subgroup subgroup generated by negative I. So meaning, equal lang yung mismong group na yun. Okay, so again, generator si I, tas si negative I. Pero si 1 and negative 1 is not a generator. Tandaan yan. Lahat sila subgroup. Subgroup to? Yes, sabi ko yan. Meron tayong subgroup. Ito yung trivial subgroup natin, which is identity element lang. Okay? Ang generate ni cyclic subgroup generated by A is a subgroup nung group G natin. So, huwag kayong malilito. Ang implication lang ng cyclic subgroup J, cyclic subgroup lang yung tawag sa ganitong set. Bakit? Ang ginagawa niya is tinatawag niya or hinahanap niya lahat ng element. Okay? Okay, so yun ginagawa. Ngayon, pag nangyari naman to, siya naman ay nagiging cyclic group. So, cyclic group siya pag na-generate niya lahat ng element kasi may generator siya. Okay, kung walang generator, hindi siya cyclic group. Pero alam natin na itong group na to is a cyclic group. So, we all know that this is cyclic group. This is cyclic group. Okay, so now proceed tayo dito sa next. Let's have the symmetric group S3. So, ano ba yung S3 na yan? So, balikan ko lang what is S3. Okay, so ito yung mga element ng S3, no? So check natin lahat yan, yung kung siya ba ay cyclic subgroup. So again, walang kinalaman dito yung pagiging abelian. Sir, hindi siya abelian, so therefore hindi siya cyclic. Hindi ganun yun. Okay, so walang kinalaman yan dito. So iba yun. So unahin natin yung epsilon or epsilon. So the cyclic subgroup by epsilon is the set containing epsilon itself. Okay, so yun yung sunod. Next is the cyclic subgroup generated by alpha. Okay, so check natin what is alpha raised to 0. So ayusin ko lang yung aking sulatan dito. So para mabilis tayo. So check ko na lang, no. So ang gagawin natin, alpha raised to 2. Ulitin natin. Alpha raised to 0 is epsilon. Alpha raised to 1 is alpha. Alpha raised to 2 is alpha times alpha is alpha squared. Okay, alpha raised to 3. So, sa alpha raised to 3, ang gawin mo na lang, since alam mo na alpha times alpha is alpha squared, gawin mo alpha squared times alpha epsilon. Alpha squared times alpha is epsilon. Okay, so this is epsilon. Okay, kung napansin mo, bumalik na siya. So, since bumalik na siya sa epsilon, ibig sabihin, ng element lang niya, o yung laman lang ng group na to, so uulit na yan eh. Sunod doon alpha. Sunod doon alpha cube. O alpha squared, sorry. So, ang element na lang nito is epsilon, alpha, and alpha squared. Okay, so, yun si Pip. So, hindi niya na-generate lahat ng element. So, hindi siya generator. So, again, hindi natin sure kung may generator tong set na to. Next is yung cyclic subgroup generated by alpha squared. Okay, so, cyclic subgroup generated by alpha squared. So, unahin natin, no? So, alpha squared raised to 0 is epsilon. Alpha squared raised to 1 is alpha. Alpha squared, sorry. Naulit lang. Alpha squared raised to So alpha squared times alpha squared is epsilon. Alpha squared times alpha squared is alpha. Basta mo bumalik pa sa alpha dito. Okay, next is alpha squared raised to 3. So alpha squared raised to 3 is alpha squared times alpha squared is alpha. Tama? Alpha times alpha squared is epsilon. So bumalik na sa epsilon. So meaning, dahil bumalik na sa epsilon or sa ating identity element, therefore, ang cyclic subroot generated by dito is epsilon, alpha, and alpha squared. So note, napansin mo dalawang to equal. So note lang, lagay natin, no? So note that alpha is equal to cyclic subroot generated by alpha squared. Okay, so equal lang silang dalawa. Okay, next is beta. So check natin si beta, no? So si beta naman, so si beta, ano ba yung laman nito ni beta? So sorry, mali to. Okay, so ito yung pinakamahirap na yung the set containing. So beta, next is beta raised to 0 is epsilon, beta raised to 1 is beta, beta raised to 2, so beta times beta. So beta times beta, obviously that is epsilon. So tigil na. So meaning dalawa lang yung laman nito. So ang laman lang nito is just si epsilon and si beta. So napakadali niya. Okay, next is si beta alpha. So wala pa tayo nakikita ng generator. No, ano pa siya? May nakita ang generator? Wala pa po, sir. So next is gawin natin si beta alpha. Beta alpha raised to 0 is epsilon. Beta alpha raised to 1 is beta alpha. Beta alpha raised to 2 is beta alpha times beta alpha is epsilon. Ano ba siya? Beta alpha times beta alpha is epsilon. So this is epsilon. So bumabalik. Okay, so meaning ang laman lang nito is also dalawa. Okay, this is epsilon and beta alpha. Okay, next is yung ating last group o yung last set. So a cyclic subgroup generated by beta alpha squared. Okay, so check natin. So we have beta alpha squared raised to 0 is epsilon, beta alpha squared raised to 1 is beta alpha squared, beta alpha squared raised to 2 is beta alpha squared times beta alpha squared is epsilon. So bumalik na sa epsilon. So meaning, tigil na tayo, lagyan na natin cyclic subgroup generated by sa kanya, which is equal sa epsilon and beta alpha squared. So napansin mo, hindi siya cyclic group. Okay, kasi wala nag-exist na generator na kung saan na-generate na yan. So S3 is not a cyclic group. So S3 is not a cyclic group. Bakit not cyclic group? Kasi walang generator. Okay, so hindi yan proving. Kailangan mo lang pakita. So note, equal lang itong dalawa, pero hindi equal itong tatlo. Pare-parehas sila ng dami ng element, pero hindi sila equal. So iba-ibang subgroup yan. Okay, pare-parehas lang ng order. Okay, next is the group G is equal to G comma plus and group M is equal to Q comma plus. So medyo malawak, no? So kung napansin mo, medyo madami yan. So pipick na lang ako na at least tatlong number dyan. So check natin kung ano yung mga possible na maging generator. Okay, so unahin ko lang dito, no? Kunyari, pinili ko si 0. Alam natin identity element is 0. Cyclic subgroup generated by 0 is the set containing 0. Cyclic subgroup generated by 1. So, napansin mo na generated by 1. So, pwedeng ganito yung maging solution mo. Another way para maging solution mo, 1 raised to 0, 1 raised to 1, 1 raised to 2, 1 raised to 3, 1 raised to 4, 1 raised to 5, then that something. Okay, so kung pansin mo, this is equal lang sa 1 raised to 0 is 0. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and so forth. So, never yan babalik sa 0. Kasi 1, hindi naman yan sisabin. So, pansin mo, 1 raised to 7,000 is 7,000. Tapos, sir, wala pa po yung negative, di pa nakukuha. Kung ginawa ko naman, kinuha ko nyari sa amin, 1 raised to negative 1, 1 raised to negative 2, 1 raised to negative 3. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng 1 raised to negative 1? Ibig sabihin ng 1 raised to negative 1 is inverse ng 1. Ano ba inverse ng 1? Negative 1. 1 raised to negative 2. Inverse ng, ano ba yung 1 squared? 1 squared is 2. Ano ba inverse ng 2? Negative 2. 1 raised to negative 3. 1 raised to 3 inverse yan. So, ibig sabihin, 3 inverse. Ano yung 3 inverse? Negative 3. So, meaning, lahat nakukuha talaga niya pag nire-raise ko siya. So, meaning, ano man sabi mo? Si 1 is a generator ni G. Okay, so, ito ay continuous kasi napaka-raming yan. Okay, then that something. So this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, then that something. Okay, so we all know that this is a generator. Also, check nyo rin si negative 1. So si negative 1 is also equal sa integers. Okay, kasi si 1 and negative 1 are generator ng z, plus. So yan silang dalawa lang. Pag kinuha mo naman si 2, ano naman laman ng cyclic subgroup generated by 2? The cyclic subgroup generated by 2 is syempre mga multiple of 2 lang yan. Sir, paano mo nasabi? Kasi 2 raised sa 0, 0. 2 raised sa 1, 2. 2 raised sa 2, 4. 2 raised sa 3, 6. 2 raised sa 4, 8. Okay, so meaning, ang laman lang neto is that something. Infinite pa rin to actually. Pero this is negative 2, 0, 2, 4, and that something. Infinite siya pero hindi siya generator. Okay? So, infinite yung laman neto, hindi siya generator. Bakit? Hindi na generate lahat ng element, unlike K1 and negative 1. So, madami man laman yan, pero sure ako, hindi sila generator. So, ano masabi mo kay Z, plus? Si Z, plus, okay, si Z, plus, is a cyclic group. Tandaan nyo yan. So, cyclic group siya. Why? Kasi may generator. Since 1 is equal to negative 1, which is equal to Z, plus. Okay, so equal lang sila doon. Na-generate nila lahat. Ngayon, pagdating kay Q, hindi niya kayang gawin yung ginagawa nito. Okay, kasi kay Q, kunyari, 1 raised sa 0. So, sir, pwede rin si 1 saka si negative 1. So, check mo lang ha. 1 raised sa 0. 1 raised sa 0 is 0. 1 raised sa 1 is 1. 1 raised sa 2 is 2. Pero, hindi niya nakukuha yung mga fraction. Okay? Walang element dito sa Q+. So, tandaan niyo na, walang element. So, no, Q+, yung Q, plus is not a cyclic group. So, imagine niyo yung sinasabi ni Sir, pag kinuha mo yung generator netong 1 na to, yung laman netong 1 na to, pag generate mo yung 1 na yan, so hindi ko sinasabing generator siya. Ang mga laman lang niya is same as this. Pero, walang fraction dyan. Okay? So, yung Z, mas maliit yan sa Q. Okay, so ano pansin mo? Ang laman nito is itong mga element lang nito. Pero, hindi nasaklaw lahat yun. Actually, so hindi nakuha yun. So therefore, kunwari, sir, kunin mo si 1/2. Si 1/2 raised, kunin mo cyclic subgroup generated by 1/2, sir. Kunwari, cyclic subgroup generated by 1/2. So by the way, sulat ko lang to. So this is negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So walang mga fraction. So hindi ko pa rin nakuha lahat. So sa 1/2, 1/2 raised sa 0. 1/2 raised sa 0, then that something. Kunyari, negative 1/2. 1/2 raised sa 0 is 0. May identity error. 1/2 raised sa 1 is 1. Ganyan. 1/2 raised sa 2 is 1. Kasi 1/2 plus 1/2 yun. Kasi plus yan. 1/2 raised sa 2 is 1. 1/2 raised sa 3 is 3/2. Pero ang tanong, nakuha mo ba lahat? Hindi naman. Kasi multiple of 1/2 lang yan ang generate niya. Okay, madami man element to. Pero hindi niya kayang kunin lahat ng element ng Q natin. So therefore, hindi siya cyclic group. So hindi siya generator. So again, walang generator tong Q, plus. May generator si Z, plus, napaka-importante. Ang generator niya is si 1 and negative 1 only. Okay? So again, si 1 and negative 1 yung generator nito. Ito walang generator. So check natin, intindihin niyo yung part na yan. So tuloy ka lang konti. Now, let's have the client 4 group. So, kung napansin nyo na sulat ko na kanina yung client 4, no? So, gamitin lang ulit natin yung nagamit ni Sir kanina. Yung client 4 group. Piko lang, wait lang ha. So, the client 4 group, medyo piko pa to. Sorry ko, medyo tatagalan minsan si Sir, no? Kasi hindi ko maano. So, the client 4 group. So, check natin yung mga generator niyan. Kung may generator yan. So, alam natin, abelian siya. Pero, ayun nga, no? Hindi porket abelian siya ay may generator. Sir, paano mo nasabi? Again, katulad na itong Q, plus. Abelian siya, pero walang generator. So, hindi siya cyclic. So, hindi lahat ng abelian is cyclic. Cyclic, tandaan yan. Hindi lahat ng abelian is cyclic. Okay, so try natin to, no? So the cyclic subgroup generated by E the cyclic subgroup generated by E is E. So the cyclic subgroup generated by A is equal lang sa A raised to 0, A raised to 1, A raised to 2, then that something. So check natin kung ano yung aabot dyan. So unahin natin, no? A raised to 0 is E. So pwedeng ganito solution mo aside doon sa ginagawa ko kanina. A raised to 1 is A. Okay, A raised to 2, so A times A is E. So this is E. So umulit na. So hindi mo na, no need na isulat mo kasi alam mong E yan. So that something. So ulitin mo na lang, i-revise mo, this is E and A. So aware na akong umulit. So sabi nga nun sa theory, no, pag may umulit na, syempre distinct na yung kukunin. So copy mo na lang yun or erase mo na lang siya pag naulit lang siya. Okay, so therefore the cyclic subgroup generated by A is EA. Okay, so next is the cyclic subgroup generated by B. So the cyclic subgroup generated by B is, una is B raised to 0, B raised to 1, B raised to 2, B raised to 3, then that. So tinatry ko lang ha. So ba't sinabi mo B raised to 3? Kasi apat yung element. So more likely kung may generator siya, hanggang dun lang kung ilan yung dami ng element. So i-erase ko para umulit. So check natin. B raised to 0 is E. B raised to 1 is B. B times B is E. So napansin mo, umulit na. B raised to 3 is B. So ebb. So wala kayo yan. So this is just equal to the set containing EB. Okay, so sa mga walang ebb, babay. So pala ginawa bebe, no? Para iyak. So next is C. So this is C raised to 0, C raised to 1, C raised to 2, C raised to 3, then that something. So una is C raised to 0 is E, C raised to 1, C raised to 1 is C, C times C is E. So umulit na lang, then this is also C, then that. Okay, therefore this is just equal sa E, C. Okay, so meaning, napansin mo ba may generator ba siya? Wala. Kasi walang element na nag-generate. So kung napansin mo, aware tayo na abelian siya, pero hindi siya cyclic. So client 4 is not cyclic group. Is not cyclic group. Okay, since walang generator tayo nakita. So pansin mo, no, ito yung cyclic subgroup generated by E, cyclic subgroup generated by EA, cyclic subgroup generated by EB, cyclic subgroup generated by EC. Okay, next is let G be the group of C sub 8, plus. So C sub 8, plus. So guys, pili na lang ako na element dito, no. Okay, so pili na lang tayo, tapos check natin kung ano yung ating meron kasi theorem dito para malaman mo agad sa C sub n ano yung generator eh. Okay, so pipili ako ng tatlong element lang dyan, tapos pipiliin ko dun isa dun yung generator. Okay, so check natin. Una is siyempre si cyclic subgroup generated by 0 is just 0. Kasi identity element na C sub 8 is 0. Now, cyclic subgroup generated by 1, this is 1 raised to 0, 1 raised to 2, 1 raised to 3, 1 raised to 4, 1 raised to 5, 1 raised to 6, 1 raised to 7, then that. Okay, so kung napansin mo, 1 raised to 0 is 0, 1 raised to 2 is 1 plus 1, modulo 8, that is 1 raised to 1, wala pa pala ako, no? 1 raised to 1, lagay ko dyan, okay. So 1 raised to 1 is 1, 1 raised to 2 is 2, 1 raised to 3 is 3, 1 raised to 4 is 4, 1 raised to 5 is 5, 1 raised to 6 is 6, 1 raised to 7 is 0, 1 raised to 7 is 7, sorry, 1 raised to 8 is 0, babalik na siya. Okay, so meaning, nakuha niya lahat ng element. So, 1 raised to 8, that is 0 na. Kasi 8 modulo 8 is 0. Okay, so meaning, siya ay generator, si 1. Okay, another sure ako na generator. So si 2 hindi siya generator, sure ako. So mamaya malalaman nyo bakit. Or sa mga next video malalaman nyo. So paano mo nalaman? So again, mga generator dito, si 1, 3, 5, and 7. So sila yung mga generator dyan. So sure ako dun. Sila yung mga dyan. So check mo na lang yung mga yun. Again, mga generator dito is si 1, si 3, si 5, and si 7. So si mga generator sila. So, equal lang din sila dito. Okay, so generator. So, check ko lang si cyclic subgroup generated by 2. Cyclic subgroup generated by 2 is the set containing 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, then that something. So, check natin. 2 raised to 0 is 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 1 is 2, 2 raised to 4 is 4, 2 raised to 6, 2 raised to 3 is 6, 2 raised sa 4 is 0 kasi babalik siya doon kasi 8 yun, modulo 8, that is 0. So meaning ang laman nito is 0, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so yan yung laman ng cyclic subgroup generated by 2. Also, iba siya kay cyclic subgroup generated by 4. Okay, kasi ito ay 4 raised sa 0, 4 raised sa 1, 4 raised sa 2, that something. So check natin. 4 raised sa 0 is 0, 4 raised sa 1 is 4, 4 raised sa 2 is 0 kasi 8 yan. Okay, or that something. That something. So this is just equal the set containing 0 and 4. Okay, so yan lang yung laman niya. Okay, so tandaan niyang idea na yan. Okay, now let's have definition. So let G be a group, so and let A be element of G, then the order of A in G is the order of the cyclic subgroup generated by A, and it's denoted by order of A. So ano nang ibig sabihin nitong ano to? So 'di ba ang alam natin na kuha natin order of element? Ang order daw nung element A is just equal sa cardinality nung cyclic subgroup generated by A. Okay, so for example, natin dito is dito sa client 4. Okay, so kung napansin mo no, kung yung A natin na yan, kung gusto mo kunin yung order of A, so ito, ang order nitong cyclic subgroup generated by A is 2. Okay, kung kukunin mo yung order of A, check natin na, kunin mo yung order of A, so that is A raised sa 0, A raised sa 1, A raised sa 2. A raised sa 0 is E, A raised sa 1 is A raised sa 2 is E. So napansin mo, ito na yung 2, bumalik na siya doon. Actually, di natin kailangan na A raised to 0 dito. A raised to 1 tayo agad, diba? Sabi ko, A raised to 1, A raised to 2. So, A raised to 2 is E. So, meaning this is 2. Okay, which is, yung cardinality ng the cyclic subgroup generated by A, 1, 2, that is also 2. So, yun yung ibig sabihin niya. So, meaning, may relationship, yung cyclic subgroup generated by A, tas yung order of A na kinukuha natin. Ang relationship nila is equal yung cardinality. So, kung kaya mong kunin, kung gusto mo malaman yung order ng cyclic subgroup generated by A, pwede mo kunin yung order of A lang mismo. Or kung gusto mo kunin yung order of A, pwede mong gawin is kunin mo lang yung cyclic subgroup generated by the certain number or by the certain element. Then, bilangin mo ng laman, therefore yun yung order ng ating element natin. Okay, so check natin no. Consider natin C sub 6 comma plus. Okay, so gusto kong kunin yung order ng 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so gusto kong kunin yung order ng 2, 3, 5, 7. Gusto kong kunin yung order ng 2, order ng 3, order ng 5. So wala pa lang 7 dyan, sorry. Okay, so para makuha kayo order yan, ang gawin mo na lang is kunin ko yung cyclic subgroup generated by 2. Ang cyclic subgroup generated by 2 is 2 raised sa 0, 2 raised sa 1, 2 raised sa 2, 2 raised sa 3, then that something. So check natin, this is 2 raised sa 0 is 0, 2 raised sa 1 is 2, 2 raised sa 2 is 4, 2 raised sa 3 is 6, which is 0, babalik, then that. So therefore this is just the set containing 0, 2, and 4. Okay, meaning the order of 2 o cyclic subgroup generated by 2 is 3. So meaning the order of 2 is 3 based dito. Okay, next is the cyclic subgroup generated by 3. So again, aware ako na si 3 hindi sa generator niyan. So this cyclic subgroup generated by 3 is just 3 raised sa 0, 3 raised sa 1, 3 raised sa 2, then that something. So this is 3 raised sa 0 is 0, 3 raised sa 1 3 is 3, 3 raised sa 2 is 6, which is 0, babalik sa 0, then that something. Therefore this is the 0, 0, 3. Okay, so check natin, this is just 2. Okay, kasi yung order ng cyclic subgroup generated by 3 is just equal sa 2. Okay, same as ganitong process. For example, kada si isang cyclic subgroup, pinahanap ko yung order. Okay, so tamad ka magbilang, gawin mo na lang, kunin mo yung order of element. So, kung paano natin ginagawa dati. So, again, itong 5 is equal to 6. So, aware ako na siya ay generator niya. Okay, so sure ako dyan, sir, paano mo nalaman? Mamaya may kita kayo na theorem. So, cyclic subgroup generated by 5 is equal to 5 raised sa 0, 5 raised sa 1, 5 raised sa 2, 5 raised sa 3, 5 raised sa 4, 5 raised sa 5, 5 raised sa 6, then that something. So, 5 raised sa 0 is 0, 5 raised sa 1 is 5, 5 raised sa 2 is 10, modulo 6, that is 4. Okay, 5 raised sa 3, that is 15, modulo 6, so that is 3. 5 raised to 4, that is 20, modulo 6, that is 2. 5 raised to 5, that is 25, modulo 6, that is 1. 5 raised to 6, that is 30, modulo 6, that is 0. Okay, kumbaga bumalik na. So therefore, ang element niya is just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So sure ako na siya yung C sub 6. So tama ako. So nahulaan ko na siya ay generator ng ating C sub 6. Okay, so ganyan kunin. So now consider natin yung A sub 3, yung order ng A sub 3 sa order ng BA. So sa order ng A sub 3 sa order ng BA natin, ang gagawin ko lang is kunin natin yung order ng A3. So cyclic subgroup generated by A3. So ito kasi yung topic natin. So cyclic subgroup generated by A3. So yun, kuha na naman tayo ng quaternion. Hanapin ko na yung quaternion group natin. So mahirap dito eh, kailangan kong tawagin. Kaya kailangan may scratch din ako ng quaternion. Gagawa nga ako next time. Kaya medyo tatagal tayo, hinahanap ko pa yung notes. So binabalikan ko. So A3, so ang gawin natin is kunin natin yung A3 raise sa 0, A3 raise sa 1, A3 raise sa 2, A3 raise sa 3, A3 raise sa 4, then that something. So check natin kung sobra. A3 raise sa 0 is E, A3 raise sa 1 is A3, A3 raise sa 2, so A3 times A3 is A squared. A3 raise sa 3, so A3 times A3 is A squared, A squared times A3 is A. Okay, so A3 raise sa 4, so A3 times A3 is A squared. Tama no? A3 times A3 is A squared times A3 A times A squared E. So bumalik siya. So this is just E. Then that something. So therefore ang laman nito is just E, A squared and A3. Okay, so yung order ng cyclic subgroup generated by A3 is just equal sa order ng A3, which is equal sa 4. Okay, so maliwanag sana tayo dyan. Next is BA. The cyclic subgroup generated by BA is equal to BA raised sa 0, BA raised sa 1, okay, tas BA raised sa 2, BA raised sa 3, and BA raised sa 4. Then that something. So check natin. BA raised sa 0 is E, BA raised sa 1 is BA, BA raised sa BA, BA times BA, sorry, BA times BA is A squared. Okay, BA raised sa 3. Okay, so BA raised sa 3, so BA times BA is A squared times BA is BA cube. Okay, so to ay BA cube. BA raised sa 4, so BA times BA is A squared. So obviously A squared times A squared is E. So babalik na to sa E. Then that something. Okay, then this is just equal sa E, A squared, BA, and BA cube. Okay, so meaning yung order ng BA is just equal sa order ng BA, element BA, which is equal sa 4. Okay, so ganun siya simple. So note number 3 last. So medyo mahaba na itong video na to. Patagal ako sa order kasi ini-evaluate natin talaga isa-isa lahat. So in C+, we have the order of 0 o yung order ng element natin, identity element. So the order ng 0 dito is just equal sa order ng cyclic subgroup generated by 0, which is 1. Bakit? Ano ba laman ng cyclic subgroup generated by? This is just 0, which is the identity element. Okay, and also the order of A is equal to positive infinity. Okay, so for A is equal to non-zero. So sir, paano mo nasabi positive infinity? So from previous example, kung napansin nyo, hanapin ko yun, nasan ba yun? Hanapin ko, ito. G comma plus, no? Kung napansin mo, kada element na generate natin, kunwari 1 raised in cyclic subgroup generated by 1, infinity yan. Cyclic subgroup generated by negative 1, infinity. Cyclic subgroup generated by 2, infinity. Kumbaga multiples. Cyclic subgroup generated by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So kumbaga mapurang multiples ng mga number. So therefore, lahat ng order of A is infinity for A is not equal to 0. Kasi ang nag-iisa lang na may order dito na finite is the identity element, which is 1. yung order niya. Pero lahat ng element dito is just the order niya is infinity. Okay, so again, that's all for today. So hoping na nagets mo yung pagiging cyclic and cyclic subgroup. Again, cyclic subgroup generated by A is just a denomination na kung saan sila ito. Okay, so lahat to kasama yung generator na yan. So again, lahat yung mga yan kasama yung generator, cyclic subgroup generated by A. Nagiging special case lang siya pag na-generate niya lahat. Pag na-generate niya lahat, ibig sabihin siya ay generator. So meaning siya ay yung mismong group, cyclic group. Pero kung walang mag-generate sa lahat ng element ng group natin, hindi siya cyclic group. So non-cyclic lang siya. Okay, so tandaan, meron din tayo example dyan na kung saan hindi lahat ng abelian cyclic. Automatic yun. Hindi lahat ng abelian cyclic. Tandaan nyo yan. So example nun is ito, alam natin abelian pero hindi siya cyclic. Okay, so that's all. Thank you for watching. Sorry kung medyo natagalan. Again, hoping na naiintindihan mo yung mga lesson natin at nag-enjoy ka.